Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hotel News Now podcast. I'm Sean McCracken, news editor, here with Bashar Wali. Bashar, usually when I intro people, I say what they do and where it is, but I'm going to let you do that for yourself because you got quite a bit going on these days.
Oh boy, how much time do you have?
So what's going on in the world of Bashar?
I kind of say I'm just a dumb hotelier, right? Like this isn't work for me. I love the quote that do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I love hotels. I was born for this. But the sort of elevator pitch is I'm a hotel owner-operator. I have a management company that manages hotels for others, largely in the lifestyle space, whatever that means these days. And I also have a hotel development investment company. Practice Hospitality is the management company. Disassembly is the hotel development company. And my fame and neurotic claim to fame is that I never stay in any hotel more than once or one night. So 3 nights in New York, 3 different hotels. 2 weeks ago, I stayed in my 249th hotel in Manhattan.
Really? Just in Manhattan?
Yep.
I mean, that's quite the accomplishment.
Neurotic, as I suggested. And if I did this while I was traveling with my wife, she would not be my wife, I'm confident. So,
What's your batting average on that? How many of those were good experiences?
oh boy, what a great question. And sadly, what I say now is I say, look, out of 249 hotels, people often say, what stands out? And my generic answer really is the following. I only remember when someone goes out of their way and genuinely cares. Like the bar is super low, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I am not taking the tile home with me. I'm not taking the art home with me. I'm not taking any of that home with me. And interestingly enough, sort of with this rating system we use in our industry, whether it's stars or diamond or now the Michelin keys, I said there's really only two kinds of hotels. They're either memorable or forgettable. And generally what makes a place memorable is a conversation, not a piece of art, not a piece of whatever, ceramic tile or marble.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So you didn't actually answer my question, though. What do you think is the ratio of good hotel stays?
Based on my criteria, I'd say 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
So that's not a great batting
No,
average.
I mean, if you want to take design and branding and all that, great. You'll have a great average there. But if you agree with the premise that it's human-centered, 10% at best.
I mean, all about, human interaction and experience.
Yep, exactly.
So I do want to, I mean, obviously you were doing what you're doing now, but before this you were in charge of Providence Hotels for quite some time. I want to take a second. How is what you're doing today different than what you were doing back then?
It's not at all different. It's actually me and the same team that was with me before we came. But I felt for a moment that I wasn't practicing what I preach. Because when you have partners, there's always other opinions in the room.
Yeah.
So now what I preach, I actually deliver on. And by the way, there's this misconception that whatever I talk about, my hotels are a pure reflection of it.
Yeah.
We are far from perfect. What I talk about isn't me bragging about what we do. It is me talking about what I wish we all would do, including myself.
It's the ideal.
Exactly. So it just having no one to answer to, partner or boss or any of that, is so liberating. And for those who've heard me speak publicly, I never disrespect anyone, but I'm not going to read you some corporate line. I'm going to tell you authentically what I think of something. It is my opinion. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to agree with me. I don't ask you to. But it's so liberating. And a lot of us try to dance around subjects rather than actually tackle on the issues we have. We have a lot of issues in our industry, serious issues.
So speaking about not dancing around things, I had a question on my list that I was going to wait a little bit.
Fire
but
away.
we're perfectly segueing into it. So I remember when I wrote the profile on Eric Danziger when he announced his retirement. And the one thing I was dying to ask him about was just, what was it like working for Trump, right? What was it like navigating that environment and being a hotelier and trying to build loyalty and experience and doing the hotelier job? Obviously, at Provenance, it was not an identical situation, but, if somebody Googled that company when you were there, you would see congressional hearings and all sorts of. What is it like kind of navigating that storm and trying to, do right by the people who work underneath you and guarantee an experience and protect the brand? Like, it seems like there's a lot going on there.
That is a great question, and I will not give you a political answer to it. I'll give you the real answer. And I'm going to give you an outside example and come back to this in a minute. When the Sultan of Brunei was stoning gays just for being gay to death in Brunei, people decided to boycott the hotel he owns in the United States, the Beverly Hills Hotel. And they decided to make that their thing. When the fact of the matter is that hotel to the Sultan of Brunei is a rounding error. He doesn't care about it.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, although the message of those boycotting was the right message, they were trying to do the right thing, the people they hurt in the end were the employees of that hotel, who are all immigrants, all feeding their families, etc. So sometimes we take our political anger on the unintended audience because we don't know what to do better. And my conversation around that time was, listen, Hollywood, because Hollywood was there also in droves complaining. Instead of complaining outside the hotels and boycotting it to the detriment of the employees, go lobby your congressman, go lobby your government. Because by the way, the US government never did anything against Brunei for their action towards the LGBTQ community. So when you think about our efforts, sometimes it's misguided. And I dealt with that. I live in the Democratic People's Republic of Portland, Oregon, where I had the majority of my hotels, including Seattle. We got a lot of backlash because of that connection. And all I had to do is go to the CEO of the company that was sort of potentially boycotting us and say, listen, that person is an individual. They do what they want to do. They happen to be an investor in the company. It doesn't mean that they're the reflection of the company. Literally, we have whatever God created, one of each in this company. They're all hardworking people. Not a dollar from this company goes to any political causes, right or left. So sometimes we tie the individual too much to the company. Like, for example, I say, if you own a computer and it has an Intel chip, go look at who Intel donates money to. Are you going to boycott it because Intel donated? So sometimes our anger is misplaced because we don't know any better. But I think once you explain it, and once I've explained it to a lot of our constituents, employees and customers alike, it wasn't an issue anymore. You have to be sincere about it and face it head on, not hide behind it. But yeah, you're absolutely. It was a really interesting, tough time. I sort of say I had a front row seat to history, right? Yeah. For better or for worse.
Oh, for sure. I have to imagine that, regardless of your feelings about any individual involved in, the previous company, it's nice to not have to have that layer of the business, right?
So again, I practice what I preach, and now if I do something inappropriate, it's me. The buck stops here. There's one person, so I better put my money where my mouth is. And that's why I'm very clear on saying, when I preach about something, it doesn't mean I'm perfect at it.
Yeah.
To your earlier comment, it's the ideal, because I don't never want to paint this picture, this misconception that we're better than everyone else. We're trying harder, I hope, but I hope everybody tries just as hard. I want this for our industry, not for me.
So the last time I saw you was at the same hotel. We're sitting at the Grand Hyatt Nashville, and you gave me one of my favorite quotes of the year, which was that hotel loyalty, the points programs are bribery, not loyalty. I'd like to dive into that topic just for a little bit. I mean, obviously, once again, we're talking about the ideal versus the reality here, but what would you like to see out of hotel loyalty? And is there a way to kind of scale true loyalty as the way you see it?
I mean, scale is the important point here that you raise. Anything we do, you can do it easily for 10, you could do it easily for 20. Once you break that number, 25, 50, 500, 5,000, it's really, really, really hard. I mean, to me, again, I talk about this bribery, and it's not an exaggeration. That is exactly what it is. If you are a Hilton and I come to you because you're a Hilton and you give me points for which the owner of your hotel is paying for, nothing is free.
Yeah.
My argument is, if you stopped giving me points, will I continue to come back? And I suspect the answer in the majority of the cases would be no. That is not loyalty. The other example I use is the Peninsula Hotel Beverly Hills. They have a lot of loyal customers. They did a survey, no points, no nothing. Peninsula doesn't do that. Owned by an individual, not by the company. They did a survey with all their customers, and they said, what keeps you coming back? 70% of the people they asked that said, because you don't have check-in or check-out time. You can come whenever, leave whenever, and you take care of us. Now, that's loyalty for a different kind of reason, although in the same argument, I'd say if they took that away, they may or may not come.
Yeah, a specific benefit. Yeah.
Exactly. Where I find loyalty is, again, you asked about what stands out of all these hotels that I go to. I literally will only come back and break my rule of one night when someone makes me feel special, like I matter. Because look, we humans have a deep-rooted desire to belong and to matter.
Yeah.
And if I come to you and I feel like I matter, I'll go scientific on you. Maslow's hierarchy of need, right? This scientist that said we humans have all these needs and created a pyramid. At the very bottom of that pyramid is the physiological needs that we have as humans.
Yeah.
And the most basic physiological need we humans want is shelter. So hotels sit at the very bottom of that pyramid, And
Yeah.
at the very top is self-actualization and transcendence. And to me, that is when you feel like you individually matter. So when I go to a hotel and they make me feel like I personally matter, damn your points, damn your amenities, all that business, you make me feel like you're attending to me individually. That to me is the definition of loyalty, because now I'm going to come back to you again and again because I belong and I matter.
Yeah. I feel like the inverse of that is the person who maybe achieves silver status at whatever hotel brand for the first time, thinking that that means something, and then the next hotel stay, nothing changes. That's probably the...
Exactly. and status, sadly, in our society has become that.
Yeah.
Status symbol. I'm diamond on this, and I'm guilty of it myself, and I'm platinum on this. But at the end of the day, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You are paying for this for all intents and purposes. You're paying for it. You're not loyal to a friend because they give you a benefit. You're loyal to a friend because you love them, you care for them, and they do you. That's the kind of loyalty I want to see in our industry. Again, this is very la la land and, unicorns and rainbows. Suffice it to say, let's call it what it is. It is not loyalty. It is a bribery program. Fine, let's find a less offensive word than bribery, but it is, make no mistake about it, it is not loyalty. Now, I will defend them for a minute and say, again, it's a benefit. I have status on a lot of brands. The only advantage to the status for me, early arrival, late checkout, all the conveniences that they do for me. But I could make that argument that if you now care about me as an individual, if you're an independent hotel and you know me and you know I'm loyal to you, you're going to attend to my needs by definition because you care about me.
Absolutely. So it seems like, asking the question about how you scale that kind of true loyalty play, it sounds like if it is human to human experience, then the way to do it is just employees, right? And that's not rocket science. You need good employees at hotels.
Marriott has said this, and the biggest compliment they'll get from me is for this quote that, Marriott originally said, take care of your people who will take care of your customers who will take care of you. That formula has not changed since the inception of this industry by Marriott. But we focus on all the wrong things. Now, again, back to scalability. It's hard to get to know all these people walking through your hotel.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're living in an era today where technology has moved so far that we can use technology to remove the friction. I mean, there are pieces of software right now that exist that could scrape every piece of information about you from everywhere, right?
Yeah.
To allow me to have an insider look at who you are and what you want and what will resonate with you. But as you know, our industry, we're late adopters, we're archaic. And look at what's happened in retail. I dream about skiing and skis show up in my feed.
Yeah.
Why aren't we there? I think retail got there faster than us because necessity is the mother of all inventions. They had to survive.
Yeah.
We haven't been faced with such a dilemma yet. Pandemic was a different kind of dilemma. It was about survival then. But I feel like this idea of ultra customization and really getting to know your customer and giving them what they want is how you build loyalty.
So that kind of super personalization has been talked about for years now. Do you feel like we're any closer to making it a reality, though?
If we choose to lean in, the technology is there to allow us to do it. If we don't, and we haven't, then it's cumbersome. Listen, you can Google 10 people checking in out of 100 and do something special for them, sure. You can't do it for 100.
Yeah.
But technology can. And there's also this misconception that you have to do this for every single person that walks through your door. You don't have to. You just need enough people to do it for, and I hate this corporate term, delight and surprise. But if you do that to enough people, it's inertia, and then the employees are proud of what they're doing, and then the message spreads like wildfire. So this idea of going a little bit out of your way, just a tiny little bit out of your way, to again, what you're solving for is science. You're solving for transcendence and self-actualization. I use this example a lot. Cheers, the TV show from the 90s. They never said we are the best bar, the most award-winning bar, the biggest wine list. They said where everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
And that is why that matters, because if I know your name, Sean, you matter. You, the person, matter. Not the business card, not the group, not the team. You individually matter. And that's how I win the loyalty.
You know what's interesting about Cheers as an example of that too is if you go back and watch that show, especially in the first couple of seasons, the bar in that show was not meant to be portrayed as an ideal or something good.
Exactly.
It was pretty dire, but then this idea that it was somewhere that it was so familiar and there was a sense of community around it. By the end, everyone was like, this is something to aspire to. Like, we wish that we had this in our lives.
Because it wasn't about the opulence of it.
Yeah.
You're right. It was.
Yeah.
People mistake our industry. We often are accused of being in the service industry. We deliver a service, and we have services. I get my oil changed, that's a service. I get my teeth cleaned, that's a service. We deliver services. But if that's where we end and believe our business is, we are dead. Because the alternative is we're in the hospitality industry. Service is something you deliver. Hospitality is how you make people feel. And again, back to the Cheers example, when you walked into that bar, if you didn't get that special feeling, it was a dive bar. It wasn't that exciting.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything about it that would make you come back.
Yeah.
Except the idea that you belong. I've trademarked, by the way, the term longing for belonging in hospitality, because I think as humans, we have strayed away from religion, we've strayed away from the political parties.
Yeah.
Kids now move and never really come back home. So we're all dying to find a place to belong. And hotels have an opportunity for a moment in time, a night, 2 nights, to make you feel like we are your tribe, you belong, you arrive, we care for you. We just don't take advantage of it, because you know what we do? We throw things at you. We want to throw artifacts at you. Instagrammable moments and the walk of shame kits in the minibar and the whatever. And it's all noise that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. You know, there's been, sociological studies that show that too, that kind of death of the third place in your life.
Exactly.
Where you have home, you have work, or your kids have home and they have school, but there used to be
the third place.
The third place. And obviously hotels can't be that all the time.
No. But you're watching, by the way, and again, this is why I love this idea that trademarking that longing for belonging. Look at what's happening in the private club space. I mean, everyone I meet, my dog wants to start a private club. Yeah. It is amazing, because we're finally catching on to your exact point, is that third place is missing, and there's such urge and desire for it. Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon. So can hotels play a part of that? Absolutely. Because remember, humans are in their most vulnerable state during sleep, right? And we talk a lot about your home away from home, hotels trying to be that, but we haven't acted upon it. We've put up stanchions and bouncers and all of that. We make it feel almost like you don't belong there. When the easiest thing for us to do is to make you feel like you belong. One of the new concepts that I really love post-pandemic is the idea we all want to be together alone. And again, if you think about that thing from a psychological standpoint, I want to go sit in the lobby next to you. I don't necessarily want to ever talk to you or do anything with you, but there's warmth and safety in being next to you. We are tribal animals. We need each other to survive. It's innate to us. And again, we miss the point on that because we focus on all the wrong things.
So if the core of success here is that human interaction you were talking about at the beginning, I mean, you're a hotel manager. When you're looking to hire, like, what do you look for in a person to deliver that experience, and how do you kind of create the culture to make that the expectation?
Sorry, Cornell, I could care less about your degree. Sorry, Johnson & Wales, where I went, I could care less about your degree. Glion, I could care less about your degree. There are 2 things I care about when I look for any person at any level. Common sense, very uncommon, and emotional intelligence and empathy. Literally, I'll give you an example I cry about all the time. I wake up in the morning at the crack of dawn. I piss off my wife because I woke her up. I'm stepping to my kids' Legos. I get in the Uber with a smelly guy who wants to talk at 4 a.m. I get shoved like cattle through TSA. I get on the plane and get whacked. I'm sitting in the aisle. Get to my destination, repeat the same thing again, and I now arrive at your hotel. And what is the guy doing? He's got his head down, punching things on the keyboard, looks up at me, looks back down, and does it again. All he has to do to win me is abruptly stop what he's doing, like visibly, dramatically. I want theater majors here. Drop what he's doing, put his hands on his heart, and say, "You're here. We got you. Welcome." If you do that, I'm yours. And I will forgive so many physical ailments you might have, the size of the room and the whatever, because now I feel like, okay, it's a hug. It's a virtual hug.
And you want to feel like this is a positive part of their day, right?
Exactly. That you're not a bother to their day. So I often say some people are correct for this business and some people are not, because if you're not just naturally sort of warm, right? Forget introvert or extrovert. I don't need you to be high-fiving guests or striking up conversations with them that are unnecessary potentially. Let's kind of read your audience and just do that very simple act. I use this example a lot. And we hospitality should look at retail for inspiration. Again, like I said before, it really is about retail. There's a company in the Northwest, tire company called Les Schwab. And their claim to fame is you pull up in your car, you haven't even parked yet. Someone from the store will run, specifically run, not walk. They will run to your window and be like, "Hey, welcome, what can I do for you?" That single act, because now again, transcendence, right? You matter, I care about you. even though their prices are probably on the higher end, of course you could do it cheaper at Costco or Walmart somewhere else. Their market share is stunning what they've done with market share. Mm-hmm. And again, that job belongs to us, this idea of making people feel a certain way. And what do? Put up stanchions and bodyguards and whatever to prevent you from feeling like that.
Yeah. I think we're running out of time here. Any final words of wisdom you have for everybody?
Take care of your people, who will take care of your guests, who will take care of you.
Mm-hmm. That can't do any better than that.
Right? I mean, again, Marriott invented this business and they'll be around when everyone else is gone because they've not deviated from that rule. Yeah. They really do. And again, I often, talk trash about them, but they really do the employee thing right and have continued to focus on it. And for us independents, so much easier for us to do it. Like we can touch those people every day. We can know about their kids and their families. Just mathematically, it's easier for us. And again, we fail miserably at it every day.
Well, thanks again. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Delighted to sit with you.
Hi, I'm Davon Reed.
I'm Omari Head.
And I'm Chris Henry.
We're the hosts of the Next Gen and Lodging podcast on the Hotel News Now podcast network. It's a monthly show in which we interview a new generation of hoteliers to get their insights into a variety of disciplines and topics, from finance to food and beverage and hotel operations. Listen to us on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode of the Hotel News Now podcast was recorded on August 8th, 2024 at the Hotel Data Conference and edited by me, Sean McCracken. Visit hotelnewsnow.com every day for the latest news from the global hotel industry. Thanks for listening.